All right, cool.
Hello.
We're live.
We're live.
Hi, I'm Biz.
Blerg, not a boy. It's okay.
And for the first time, we are doing the Biz and Blerg Blove blog, now Blive.
Yay, Chicago.
Yeah, we're broadcasting live from my apartment. That would be Leo messing with the laptop. You're going to say hi, Leo, or just continue? Never mind. He's just going to mess with the laptop. And now he's gone. All right. So welcome to Chicago, or welcome back to Chicago, I should say.
Yes.
So I understand you had some stuff come up recently that would make a
Well,
good
yeah,
blog.
I mean, sure, but I mean, let's go. So wait, when was the last time you did a post?
A couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago? A couple months ago?
Months, weeks, me.
Have you been on any dates since then?
No, had an interesting situation come up, but we can talk about that later.
All right, fair enough. Same. Had a good birthday, which is good.
Cool.
I did go on a real date.
Ooh.
Like an actual, like, I'll probably see you again date. A couple weeks ago, it's like, all right, cool. Like, had a good time, made plans during the date for the second date. Didn't talk to him until the day before, which is fine. I'm trying to be cool. And then so I like sent him a cute text. He told me, he's like, oh, I took Russian. I failed Russian. I have a friend who is Russian. So I sent him a text in Russian saying, see you tomorrow. The day before, it didn't get a response. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever.
Okay.
So midday the next day, he responds, sorry, have to cancel, whatever. So it's like, oh, I guess you don't want to reschedule. Like, if you don't want to date me again, I'm going to make you say it. So eventually he says, I'd love to, but when I moved out from my girlfriend, and we talked the other day, and we're getting back together. But it's always been an open relationship. So if that's something you're into, let's do it. If not, I don't want to mislead you.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering if it was actually an open relationship, or if he was just saying it was an open relationship, not to sound like a jackass. I mean, it's possible. I'm not going to discount it at all. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I mean, you could just say,
yeah,
I got back with my girlfriend. Girlfriend wasn't mentioned. I mean, you know, you don't have to say every part of your life in the first date.
Yeah.
Girlfriend was not mentioned at all. Like, oh, we just broke up. Like, I'm not, whatever. Just fine.
Well, I mean, anytime you mention like an ex on a first date, I mean, that's a horrible sign. Well, it's like, oh, look, here's this person I'm no longer with, but clearly not over yet. So, you know, whatever. We'll just kind of play it by ear and see how it goes. All right. So let's see here. I started texting this one. I've been talking about this on the Slack. By the way, for those of you that have not signed up for the Slack, you should probably do that. So I've been talking about this on the Slack. I messaged this woman on OkCupid a couple of months ago, actually. We started talking, had this great rapport. Really into her. Really interested to know her. She was living in Pittsburgh at the time, but was moving to Chicago. So, we agreed like back at the end of June that once she came in, we would go ahead and get together, grab a drink somewhere and all that. So she gets back in Chicago. At least I think she gets back in Chicago. We go through like the first couple of weeks where I'm like, all right, she's obviously moving in, getting settled, starting a new job, all that. So I said to wait and give her some time, and then like it was like mid-July at that point. I said, all right, haven't heard from her. Gonna text her, see what's going on. So sent her a text saying, hey, I'm pretty sure you're back in Chicago at this point. Just wanted to say, hey, see if we're still getting together, all that. Nothing. Silence. So I gave her about a week. Said, all right, maybe something's going on. We'll see how it goes. So gave her a week, sent her another text saying, hey, haven't heard from you. Just want to see if still wanted to get together. Still haven't heard from her. So at this point, I'm assuming that she's not interested, but, well, hope springs eternal.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I guess going back to my things, like, So then I just became fascinated. Even though I have like all emotionally closed off, my friends call me a robot. I don't like emotions. Just like,
Okay.
don't like them, don't want to have them, good, bad, whatever. So what happens like if you say yes to this person who's, first of all, you are so inclined to get back with your girlfriends after having like, I don't know how long they're broken up, but like within 48 hours of like going on a date, it's like, that was never going to be anything, right? Like, it's a rebound. But then in the open, like, what is that like? I mean, I've never been in one either way, like on either side. So it's like, why don't you just date instead of being like exclusive, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand it. Like, what is the? I'm fascinated in the psychology, I guess, for lack of a better word, behind like, I'm gonna date this person who's in a relationship, or yes, I'm gonna be in a relationship with this person who wants to date other people still. We both want to date other people. I just don't understand.
I think that there are a lot of people out there that really, I mean, they love the idea of being in a relationship. They're just not necessarily in love with the idea of all the stuff that goes into being in a relationship. You know, the exclusivity, not being able to be around, not being able to see other people, however you want to phrase it. So, they kind of create this thing where it's like, okay, I'm going to be in a relationship. This person's my boyfriend. This person's my girlfriend. We'll see how it goes. At the same time, maybe they are, kind of seeing who else is out there, or, something. Like there's a disconnect there in between, like, being in that relationship and committing to the relationship versus just wanting to be in a relationship.
Right.
So, I mean, to your point, and going back to kind of this date thing, like the whole, okay, I broke up with my ex and we're going on a date, and now I'm back with my ex. That's something I don't even remotely understand.
No.
Like the whole thing is just nuts. It's like, okay, you broke up with this person, but now you're getting back with them.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if it's like, okay, we lived together. Did I say this? They lived together, but he said you moved out recently. It's like you lived together. It got so bad that you broke up, like couldn't live. I mean, I get it if you're breaking up, like, but like not just broke up, but like I moved out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay,
like,
this is really over. Yeah, this is really over. I don't know. I mean.
Yeah, like that. That's like the extra frosting on top of like the breakup cake, where it's like, okay, we were committed enough to live together, but we're not really interested in like being in a relationship anymore. So it's like, well, now you're gonna break the lease or find a roommate, or do whatever it is you have to do.
Yeah.
But to get to that point where it's like, okay, I am no longer interested in being with this person and saying I'm going to move out of the place that we share, and then a couple weeks later go, well, no, I fucked up, so now I actually want to be in a relationship with this person. I mean, there's issues there.
Yeah, probably safe. I won't see that guy again.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty safe bet.
That's all right. I do have a date tomorrow.
Ooh,
which I kind of feel bad because he seems like a nice guy.
Okay.
Pictures on my Tinder profile are a couple of me doing CrossFit stuff, messages me nice lifts, and lots of talk about that. And I've had people would just be like, the whole conversation was about CrossFit and like lifting. Okay. And then that's it, because they're in New Orleans for one day and they're like, hi, I'm leaving. So he's like, oh, let's have coffee tomorrow.
Okay.
So I feel a little bad that I don't live here. And I didn't tell him as much because he just said, oh, where are you staying? He's like, oh, I'm in Avondale. Where are you? I was like, oh, yeah, I'm in Avondale because that's where I'm staying.
All right.
It's just at a friend's house, not my own house.
So, no,
I mean, I will say, I'll let him know. It's just coffee. It's not like a full-blown, like, we're going to something to eat, movie.
Whatever.
Like an hours long date.
Yeah.
Maybe hour long. Because I have cup tickets for tomorrow. So.
All right. So, I mean, that's kind of an interesting point. This was something like we kind of texted about earlier, where you get to Tinder in different cities. I read Aziz Ansari's Modern Romance on my flight home last night, and he talks about kind of how Tinder evolved from this like kind of hookup app into kind of a social thing, where everyone's, even if you're not like interested, like you're still swiping left and right just because. So you know,
I did see one person's profile said it's like Fruit Ninja on people's faces. I was like, I had to swipe just for that.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I picked up a cold over the weekend. All right, so yeah, that's basically what it's become. Like a lot of people are not interested at all in meeting somebody on Tinder. They're just like, oh yeah, you know, I'm just gonna like swipe left and right and you know do all this stuff because it's fun.
It's easy. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's like it is. Fruit Ninja on your face. I mean, it doesn't
Yep.
slice you in half if you haven't played, but.
Although actually, it gives you a really great idea for some Tinder improvements. Anyway, no, so it is definitely like a thing where you know you have people that are on it, like to actually meet somebody, people that just aren't. So you know, I travel a lot, and you know, I've used Tinder in different cities, and like if you're there for like a couple of days, like it's great because you know you can actually say, okay, you know, I'm here for like 4 or 5 days, or if like you're going to be traveling like repeatedly, then you're in a position where it's like, okay, you know, maybe coffee or something, you know, that kind of thing. Like if you're in a city for a short amount of time, it's a little bit different. Oh, and
There's Leo.
Hi, Leo. Do you want to say hi to everyone? Just passing through. Huh?
Can't have it.
No. No. Anyway, as I was saying, so like if you're in a city, you're going to be like traveling back and forth. Like that's a good place to be in because like you can actually kind of germinate like a relationship there. I mean, if you're just in there for like a day or whatever, yeah, I mean, you can certainly get something started if you're willing to like travel and like move and Leo's back. And I'm happy about it apparently. Hey. Anyway, so you know, you can, I mean, you can do that, but I don't know, like I'm not a big believer in long-term relationships, but that's me. Like unless you have like something to kind of start from, really. Anyway, unless you have something to kind of start from, you know, that's kind of the position that you're in.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so I was in Atlanta over 4th of July.
Okay.
And I was like, let me just look. I have no intention of meeting up with anybody in any capacity because I was with my mom and brother. And
okay.
I was trying to meet up with 40, and I told my mom, I was like, oh, I want to meet up with my friend. And she's like, what friend? I was like, okay, I don't want to explain my internet friend. I'm not going to explain it. Tinder.
Was it dogs? Was it bots?
No, it was 40.
Ah, oh,
David.
Okay.
Sorry, David. But so there was just no intention. And like I did like end up having a nice conversation with somebody who was like, oh, well, you're not here. This is too bad.
Yeah.
Unmatched, which is fair, right? Because I don't live there, and he lives in Atlanta. But I will say it's different, like because for being here, see a lot of guys' profiles say not looking for hookups, only looking for hookups. Whereas I live in New Orleans, so it's a large tourist population, and everybody that I get, which is like why my radius is so big, is like they're 5 miles away. That's downtown.
Okay.
So that picks up on my radius, and so if I look further, then it's away from downtown. It's not probably somebody that lives there. I mean, you get people within 5 miles that do live in the city, but more often than not, it's like, oh, I'm staying at this hotel on St. Charles, or I'm on Bourbon. Which, you know, so then I just meet a bunch of people that only want to hook up.
Right.
We'll say meet, you know, match, chat with, whatever.
I don't get why people use euphemisms like that. It's like, look, we know why you're here.
Mm-hmm.
We know what you're looking for. Just come out and say it. If you just want to fuck, just say, just look at a fuck.
Yeah.
If you actually like want to meet somebody, you know, especially like somebody that's local to maybe show you around the city, that kind of thing, just go for it. No, but you know, like living in Chicago, I've seen one profile that actually said, I am here to hook up. I have seen about 50 billion profiles that say, I am not here to hook up. And it's like, well, okay, you know, thanks for being honest. And, you know, I'm glad we're all on the same page here. But it's just kind of like, well, you know, we really need to figure out exactly like what everybody's using Tinder for at this point.
I think it's like, I mean, it's like you said, it's like sort of evolved. It's different. don't know how to say. It's just, I mean, at least for me, I've met people and I probably won't see them again, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, but I think that each person you meet on Tinder is different, just like in real life.
Yeah.
If I meet you at the bar at 2 a.m., maybe I don't see you again. If I meet you at the bar at 2 a.m., like maybe I do see you again. You know what I mean? Like it's the same as in real life, except it's just on my phone.
On what happens at 2:30 a.m.
Right. Well, and you know in the conversation you're having with this other person, what the tone is, like what's happening.
Right.
And you have to be okay with, okay, am I just gonna sleep with them? Am I just gonna hang out with them? Is it real date? You know. So it's just sort of everything, and it's for me it's easy. Yeah, make a split decision based on what they look like.
Okay.
If their profile seems interesting, like.
Yeah.
Here I just sit on the bus and I'm like right, left, right, left, right, left, 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 right. You know?
Yeah.
If it's more interesting, I'll click on the profile and read it, or look for more pictures, or I'm undecided.
See, like Tinder profiles they're so worthless because they are so short and tell you so little that at this point it's just like, okay, your goal is to get through everybody as fast as you possibly can.
I have run out of matches, which is strange.
Yeah.
It's very strange. It was like, you're out. Maybe you'll try back. It's like,
wait,
where'd all the people go?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that was a huge mistake on Tinder's part. Like, actually, like, adding, like, a counter to the matches.
Yeah.
Because you used to be able to sit there and just go, like, okay, left, right, whatever. And now it's like, well, am I actually interested in this person, or am I just bored?
Right. Well, most of the time I'm just bored.
Yeah.
And that's where it picks up. It's like, people say, what are you doing on Tinder? And I say, oh, I'm just looking at meeting people have some fun, right? Yeah. Whether that fun is we're going to the bar and getting drinks and going home, or, you know, we're going to the bar and getting drinks and dinner. Yeah. And then I'll see you maybe, you know, next week.
Yeah.
It just depends. But yeah, I saw this meme and it was like, no matter how sad your life is, like somebody's paying for Tinder Plus, which is $20 a month. Which is, if I'm paying $20 a month, guess what? I'm going to be on Match.
Yeah. Or
eHarmony, which I think is, you know, you get what you pay
more
for. So there's more,
centric.
yeah, and there's more quality, I think, in potential for those relationships.
You know, it's funny. I've never done eHarmony. I've done Match. I paid for Match. Honestly, like, because of the fact that you have this large population of users that are looking for a relationship, it kind of goes back to, you know, what we were talking about earlier, where everybody's looking for Mr. and Mrs. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no concept of, well, okay, this person is good enough, or yes, this person meets like all my qualifications, but isn't necessarily, you know, exactly the person that I imagine myself with. So, you know, people tend to be like a little bit more flaky. That, and you know, because the way that online dating is, once it goes from, you know, just the internet into the real world, people tend to flake a lot.
Yes.
You know, I had a thing a couple of months ago. I was talking to this woman. She was super into me. I was super into her. We actually got as far as like making plans to meet like a local bar. And you know, the day comes. You know, sent her a message to confirm. Never heard back. You know, she texted me the next day. Said, "Oh, you know, really sorry about that. You know, some stuff got away." We said, "Sure, no problem. You know, stuff happens." And you know, this happened at least like 3 more times. And at that point, she just like stopped responding. It was just like, the fuck did I do?
If I haven't met you yet, it's so much easier to just say, sorry, not happening. Versus going on that first, like, date, meetup, whatever you want to call it, and then being like, oh, how do we get out of this?
Yeah.
If I haven't met you, I'd just be like, you know what? No. But like I said earlier, if you don't want to date me, I'm going to make you say it.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, you know, at the beginning, if I haven't met you, there's less stock in it. But.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what everybody goes through. It's like, you know, we talked about ghosting like a million times. You know, it's the thing now because nobody wants to have that confrontation. Nobody wants to say, for whatever reason, I am not interested in you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's a personal reason or I've, you know, got some stuff going on, or, you know, you used the wrong fork at dinner, whatever it is. You know, we have this thing where it's like we don't like confrontation.
Yeah.
We don't want other people to be in confrontation with us. So we just say, man, screw it, I'm just never going to talk to you. So you end up with like a bunch of hurt feelings. Everyone's like, well, whatever.
I don't know. Let's see. What else? I think that was it on my side.
Oh, that reminds me. I've been dying to get the definition for fuckboy.
Oh, here. Okay. I guess for me, it's like just any Tinder person I don't have much faith in.
Ah, okay. See, I've heard it used like 4 or 5 different ways, so it's trying to get like a concise definition.
Let's see. I don't understand. So I'm looking at Urban Dictionary.
Of course.
This one is trying to decide what this definition says. There's no just fuck boy, excuse me, I spit, definition, unless I spelled it wrong. It's defining the word with the word, which you cannot do. There it is.
Ah, it's 2 words.
Fuckboy, a person who is a weak ass pussy that ain't about shit.
All right, fair enough.
There, yeah. How to spot
a
one.
fuckboy.
White Nike tube socks with his Adidas sandals. He wants to play 20 questions followed by 17 exclamation points. Do not play, especially if there's a wink face involved.
Oof.
Relies on his mom but doesn't respect women. Looks like he just read one of Jane Smith's tweets. In all his selfies, can't find the clitoris.
I feel like that's supposed to be 2, but I like the way that it came together.
Yeah. So there you go.
It's here. Fuckboys come in all shapes and sizes. The results may vary, but when he's a fuckboy, he's a fuckboy, and you will know. Okay.
Timothy over here asking for nudes when all you did was say hello, so he's a fuckboy. Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah. See, I mean, that makes a lot more sense because
Gregory Maggers, you didn't blow up after the first date, so he's a fuckboy.
All right. I'm glad that we got that sorted out. Yeah. All right. So let's see here. What else can we talk about?
We covered all my topics.
All right. So let's see here. Dating on the road is always interesting. You know, I'm traveling again, so I'm going to be spending some time in Texas. God save me over the next couple of weeks.
Texas is okay.
No, it's not. Let's not make Texas okay.
San Antonio is good. Austin is good. I don't
I'll
care
be
for
in Dallas. Yeah. And not even like Dallas proper, like Plano.
Well, that's a whole different city.
Yeah, it's all Dallas-ish. Anyway, so, I'm going to be in Dallas for the next couple of weeks. And, I'm like sitting here kind of like looking at this like vast expanse of suburbia, which is a little bit different from Chicago.
Yeah, it's like a bit different.
Yeah. So, it's like you're sitting there thinking, okay, like I had cracked open like OkCupid while, I was on the road just kind of bored. And I got like, 15 people like immediately looked at my profile. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on in Dallas?
Yeah.
So I think, next time I'm there, I may actually crack open Tinder, just see who's out there.
It's funny. You're like, I'm on OkCupid. Here, I'd be like, Tinder, refresh my location.
Yeah.
This is easier.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose it's just like varying the services up, just seeing who's out there. Honestly, I was, at like a corporate training thing last week. We have like our own campus and everything. And I'll be honest, I considered opening up Tinder just to see who was there.
In the room. Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you set it for like, 5 miles, your options are either people that you work with or cows. Like literal cows. So,
cows are not on Tinder. They don't have thumbs.
As far as we know.
They don't have thumbs. How do they swipe?
They have hooves. They can use their noses.
It's a messy phone.
Hey, it works. I mean, if you're looking for some hot cow on cow action, why not?
Okay.
I mean, maybe there's like a cow-specific Tinder. I mean, I don't know how cows use smartphones.
I don't think they do. But I don't know. I don't know any cows.
They might want us to think that they don't. Just throwing that out there.
All right.
Anyway, so I'm at this training thing, and basically the only people around are like fellow employees of this company I work for. So I'm sitting here thinking, it's like, okay, if I open up Tinder and reset my location, how much trouble could I get in versus like the possible rewards.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like an on-site bar, and it's dirt cheap. So I'm thinking, okay, if on the off chance I happen to see somebody there, they happen to match me, we could go to the bar, get really, really hammered, and have like really awkward sex later. And then there's like a 50-50 chance I get fired. But it might totally be worth it.
No.
Yeah.
Probably not worth it.
I like my job, and I'd like to be working there.
Yeah.
So I decided to err on the side of caution. But at some point, when I'm at the point where they can't actually fire me, which may be never, I would like to try that just to see what happens.
I did see a coworker on Tinder and was like, don't accidentally swipe right, because you can't take it back. It's like sometimes I'm like left, you get in the pattern of just swiping one way, and you're like, oh no. I mean, I guess if you pay for Tinder Plus, you can take it back, but not the right swipe. Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine like the place you have to be in your bank to go, okay, yeah, I want to pay for Tinder Plus.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
There's just so much wrong with that it just blows me away.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's see here. I had a point to make, but like the sponsored profiles on Tinder, those are making me crazy. Because like, was it like Tinder had like one like just for Tinder? Like Jason Derulo had one. Fuck you, Jason Derulo. I think there was like one for Budweiser. It's just like, really?
I've only seen one for Trainwreck, which
so
I saw Trainwreck. Meh. But it's a video, so it's like obviously like no. I don't know what the benefit is of like swiping away or watching.
Yeah. And then it's like, you like sit there, you get tools, left, right. And then like you come across like that one that like doesn't have a picture, and you just got in the groove. It's like, oh no, that sucks.
Yeah. That's
one swipe I'm never gonna get back.
Yeah.
Moral of the story: if you use Tinder, use a profile picture.
Well, you're gonna let swipe anyways. No pictures?
Yeah.
How lazy are you? Do you have Facebook? You couldn't even make a fake one?
Yeah, so that's interesting. So, all right. So here's something that kind of like intersects what I was doing last week with, what we're talking about today. The Ashley Madison hack. Oh, boy. Well, let me tell you, this thing was a hot topic of conversation in my security training program last week. We were looking at it from a security perspective, but from a sociological perspective, it's hilarious.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you have, 37 million profiles just got exposed, and now it's all out there. So you have all of these couples who are now in this position of finding out that their significant other may not necessarily have cheated on them, but was looking to cheat on them.
Awkward.
Oh, yeah. The divorce rate is going to be really funny over the next couple of months. The guy that was teaching my class was Canadian, so I was looking at some of the stats on this, and apparently 1 in 5 people in Ottawa had signed up on Ashley Madison.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's like, oh, hi Leo.
I think Leo had a profile.
He might have.
No.
He's not happy about being excluded from the conversation. He had some thoughts.
He doesn't have anything to contribute. Jerk.
Yeah, that's what he does. Anyway, so you have 1 in 5 people like Ottawa and Ashley Madison, and I'm sitting here thinking, the fuck is going on in Ottawa that all these people are trying to
potentially nothing. Potentially nothing's going on in Ottawa. That's why.
Yeah, but I mean, you figure, all right, there's got to be something going on. So they're getting a little bit of something, but it's nope. Apparently, everybody's just cheating. So
maybe they're like you were telling me earlier. The French people what's it, 47%?
Yeah. So like I mentioned, I read Aziz Ansari's Modern Romance on my flight home last night, and he mentioned coming to a lot of the same conclusions that Blerg and I had. He talked about dating in some different cities. He went to Tokyo, where there's apparently a whole subclass of men that are no longer interested in sex or dating. Which, okay. Then he talked about going to Buenos Aires. Apparently, this is where Leo comes back. Talks about going to Buenos Aires, where basically dating is essentially structured sexual harassment, And finally, he talked about dating in Paris, where 47% of the population disapproves of infidelity. Disapproves, as in 53% actually approves. That kind of blew my mind because, you know, you look at like the stats in like the rest of the world, it's like, okay, like Palestine was like 94%, the US 84%, and like the next closest one was like Germany with like 60%, and then 47% France. It was like, well, okay.
I don't get it. One person to deal with is enough for me.
Yeah.
And I have 0 persons to deal with.
Exactly. I mean, it seems like the whole idea behind cheating, it's like, well, you know, I'm gonna go and like do something different for a bit, but then it's like the lies and the deception, like everything that like goes into that, like it just seems like it's more effort than it's worth. It's like, okay, if you just want to sleep with other people, go get a hooker. Don't tell anybody about it.
But still cheating.
Yeah, it's still cheating, but it's much less work.
And you have to pay for it.
Yeah. I mean, let's be realistic. You're going to pay for it one way or another.
Well, just outright paying for it.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, it moves from the kind of transactional system that we have now. It's like, well, okay, you know, you wine, you dine, you develop rapport, all that. And then you have sex, which is like, okay, here's money. Let's have sex.
There's a cat.
Yeah, there's a cat and he's wandering around behind me. Anyway, all right. So what else should we talk about?
We don't have anything. It doesn't have to be like a lecture in college where you're like, oh, I think I'm done teaching. Is there going to be questions? That one person keeps asking questions. Like, could have been out of class 20 minutes ago, but like this jackass keeps asking stupid questions. Everybody just like, stop asking.
Yeah, had a guy like that in my class last week. I mean, we spend like 12 hours a day with like this group of people who are all like type A overachievers. There's always going to be like one person that's like a little more type A than everyone else that needs to ask the stupidest questions, and by the end of the week, you just want to punch them. All right, so let's see. All right, you know, dating in like big cities versus like little cities. So, you know, like I mentioned, I travel a lot, and it's funny, like when you go to like the small towns, you go to like, especially like hotel bars and stuff like that, they're empty. Like nobody is there. In like major cities, you know, you go to a hotel bar, even if it's not like downtown, you're still in a position where there's like always someone. Like there's always someone there, there's always someone drinking. And, you know, I mean, especially when there's like some romantic tension there, you know, something can happen.
Right.
You know, being a consultant, you know, one of the movies that we use as our guideline is Up in the Air.
The movie was terrible. The book was way better.
That may be the case, but having lived that life, I totally get where they're all coming from. George Clooney's character is an ass, and Anna Kendrick was right when she says, you know, you've effectively banished yourself from society in this like cocoon. What I think is really funny was Vera Farmiga's line where she says, you know, we're two people that get turned on by elite status, cheap is our starting point. When you're on the road and when you're part of that group, where you travel, you know, 20, 30, 40 weeks a year, and that is what you have, where you get off on, you know, getting upgraded to like some suite in a hotel for free, or, you know, boarding 10 seconds before everyone else. You go to a bar and you say something like, oh yes, you know, I'm like executive lifetime, platinum, super ultra secret diamond, and, you know, people are like, oh wow, and they're like genuinely impressed by it. And I get it, because it means that you have stayed in a shitload of hotels or flown a shitload of miles.
Yes.
But it's just like, it's the most ridiculous thing that like just gets people together. Yeah, pretty much.
I guess. I mean, traveling. Did a lot more traveling, but not ever for work, so.
Trying to hook up or even trying to date, like meet people who travel is always interesting. I take like a lot of 6 a.m. flights, and on those flights, you don't talk to anybody. If you do,
everybody's asleep.
Not everybody. Every now and then, there's like somebody that's like wired awake, like, you know, they had too much coffee, or, you know, had like double Diet Cokes with breakfast or something like that, and they just want to talk. It's like, look, dude, it's 6 a.m. I've got a full work day ahead of me. Just shut the fuck up, please. But like on flights back, especially when they're like at 5 to 7 o'clock range, and people are awake, we're chatting, that kind of stuff. So you always sit there and you think, okay, maybe like my seatmate is going to be somebody cute that I can talk to. We're going to the same place, you know, get the numbers, see what happens. So yeah, you know, that's always a possibility. Like every flight I take, you know, I'm like sitting in my window seat going, okay, maybe the cute girl's gonna sit next to me this time. No, it's always, you know, some like bald 55-year-old guy from Des Moines that's just going through here to get home, and it's like, oh crap.
You flew Hobo Airlines, you could sit next to the cute girl on purpose and not hope that she has a seat assigned next to you.
But then I would have to fly Hobo Airlines.
I don't know. I got here on time. That's why I flew United. My flight out of here was delayed 2 hours.
I flew United, like I fly United a lot, but on my last flight out of Chicago, they delayed my flight by an hour because somebody lost the drink card.
It was a drink card.
I don't know. Like, it's not a big plane. You would figure they could, like, find the drink card. Yeah. No, it was just, like, gone. So they had to actually delay the flight so that, like, craft services or whatever.
Little truck maybe take the drink?
I have no idea how it worked. All I know is that they had to stop the flight, open the door, have somebody wheel, like, a new drink cart in once they found one. Wow. So, yeah, that was interesting. All right, let's see here.
I'm good.
Yeah, you good?
I'm fine.
All right.
Long enough, huh? 30 minutes, 35 minutes?
Yeah, just about.
So
yeah, this was fun.
This was fun.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good day, everyone.